Save. Apparently we're live. Are we live?
I think we're live.
YouTube says we're live.
Oh yeah, I'm just getting a notification.
Did you actually get a notification?
Yeah, I get a notification because I'm subscribed with the bell, which you should too. And now we're getting sound.
Yeah, that's we shouldn't get. Oh yeah, I really should have subscribed that with the bell notification, I guess.
Yes, the bell notification.
I didn't, so that's bad on me. That's interesting. That's look at that. That was you.
Yeah. So we have a new mic.
Which hopefully will give us a lot better sound. I hope I turned it on correctly and did everything.
Well, it's not clipping, so it seems to be okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that they hear what we want them to hear, I guess.
Well, we'll find out. If you can't hear it and you're watching, then please say so in the chat. Probably nobody's watching this.
There's a good chance that nobody will be watching this, but we had to try anyways. We have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, so this is all kind of new, but this is episode 2 of the yet unnamed show. Let's call it YUS, yet unnamed show.
The YUS show.
It will remain the YUS show for the rest of our lives.
I hope not. I hope we'll be able to get a.
We'll get something. I just need to find this. I don't know.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
We've had a rough week, so let's just stay on that. Well, I've had
pretty much
rough couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah, he's pretty much disabled. So
I'm pretty much. I'm currently in.
He's slowly falling apart.
Yeah, basically that.
He has reached the age of 30, and now he's actually falling apart. He's been falling apart since he was 20, but now he's actually.
Yeah, I decided 3 weeks ago that it would be a fun endeavor to trip on the top of the stairs and fall down 3 meters of stairs. We only use meters here. We don't use freedom metrics because for some reason those do not make sense.
Nope. Feet, miles, pounds.
So no, I fell down a 3 meter tall stairs in my own home, and I busted up my knee and my tailbone, and I'm having a hard time sitting. Like right now, I'm trying to sit on a single butt cheek, so I can actually sort of sit. And my knee looks like a water balloon. It's completely swollen up and it's painful and I can barely move it, but that has been my life for the past 3 weeks, because it's been 3 weeks since I fell.
Yep.
So, well, I'm not planning on doing it again, and it hurts. It really hurts breaking or contusing your tailbone. Either way, I'm not sure what I did, if I broke it or if it's actually a contusion, because one of the pictures actually shows something that looks like a break, but the others don't. But all I can say is that it really, really hurts.
Yep, pretty much.
So, don't recommend doing that. He's had a couple of rough weeks as well. Look at his face, like that's the face of something that's been.
No, my face right now is just complete relaxing because I had a couple of beers, more than a couple of beers, so I'm doing pretty okay. No, business is pretty bad at the moment. It's not bad, but it's just
a miscalculation.
Well, yeah, time flies. Let's just keep it at that. And we've run out of funding, and so now we need to find a way to survive the coming months in order to build a revenue stream. And it's just it's a difficult times ahead, but I've been through worse, so should be okay, I think.
So what's first up on the topic list? It looks we'd already discussed me falling down the stairs, so
Yeah.
we don't have to do that.
So F1, the qualifying just ended, and I don't know. He was cringing the whole time.
I'm really cringing about Formula One at the moment, anyways, because it just looks like utter garbage. Like, the races are not that much fun, to be honest, and
Well, you have to view current Formula One for what it is. It's just
yeah,
like,
but why view it? Why view it for what it is?
it's like an engineering battle because it's not gonna change in a week,
Yeah, so why watch?
in a year. Well, because I don't know, it's tradition to watch. I always watch it.
Yeah, but
I've been watching it since I don't know when.
but if you're not really enjoying it,
We've
well,
been I do enjoy it.
you enjoy watching a parade. But
No,
the outcome is
I
almost set
enjoy
in stone.
I enjoy watching Hamilton win. We just had a whole discussion about this.
Yeah, we should have probably saved the discussion for this, but we didn't because it was.
He's
also-
really anti-Hamilton. I'm really pro-Hamilton.
No, I'm anti-Hamilton, but not for the reasons you will probably make people think by saying I'm anti-Hamilton. I just consider him not the great driver he is, because
And to which I said he is the greatest driver of his generation.
yeah, I still disagree.
Maybe with an equal placement with Alonso, but he doesn't have a lot to show for it. Unfortunately for him, but he just made the wrong choices, and he always stirred trouble wherever he went, which is I don't know. I don't know if that's due to him or the people he had to work with, but I don't know if they let's say this, if they had been in equal cars, there would be a good chance that instead of the probably 6 titles that Hamilton will have after this year, probably 3 would be for Alonso and 3 would be for Hamilton, if they would be in the same car together. Which would mean that Alonso would have 5 instead of
the 2 he has.
yeah, because he did win against Schumacher, which maybe puts him ahead of Hamilton in his generation. But I'm like I said to him, I'm talking about generations. I'm not talking about all time. And generations always overlap a little bit. But Alonso did actually dethrone Schumacher in 2005 and 2006. He was the one to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm in
any case.
Agreement.
In any case, what was the ending? Leclerc on 1?
Yeah, Leclerc
On
just
pole position.
for the Red Bull ring just got pole position, so
Yeah.
that's
Probably a very good track for Ferrari because they have a lot of horsepower, more than probably not more than Mercedes, but Mercedes has a lot more drag, which is why they were so dominant on the French Grand Prix. Yeah, so we wanted to talk about the other Grand Prix as well. So let's go all the way back in time because we haven't been here for a while. So let's go back to Canada, which was a snooze fest, to be honest.
which was a snooze fest. Yeah.
Until Vettel obviously made a mistake, like he usually does.
The whole race, the literal entire race, you see Hamilton making braking mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally on
He's
the
following.
exact same
He's
corner.
pushing.
He wasn't even within 2 seconds when he was making those
No,
mistakes.
he was constantly.
At the end, he was. But
constantly within DRS.
earlier in that
But
race,
he was a little bit too enthusiastic.
he kept overshooting his braking point.
Yeah, down
Locking up his front tire.
down the hairpin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
All race, and then Vettel makes one mistake, and he chooses to save his car and that of Hamilton. Because if he wouldn't, they would have both slammed into that wall, and he gets penalized for it.
Well, yeah. But I don't think the penalty was warranted in any sort of way. Probably like we discussed, it probably would not have happened when If Charlie Whiting would still have been here, he probably would not have let that go. I don't know who the stewards were. I didn't look that up actually, but
I
No,
looked
I
it
don't-
up, but
I
I
don't
forgot,
think-
and I forgot to make a note of it. But
I don't think it was very fair to
no, because
Sebastian.
the precedent the FIA stewards just gave was no, take out your opponent because it's no.
Or take out yourself.
No, take out your opponent in this case, because the only reason he was able to save what he did was save himself, was to avoid crashing. And if he would have crashed, he would have taken out his competitor.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
the precedent the FIA has basically said is no, you're better off crashing and taking out your opponent with you than actually trying to save the car, because then we'll just take away your win.
No, it was a stupid. I don't know. It was just stupid, and it. To be honest, it robbed them of a win.
It robbed them of an interesting competition.
It robbed them of an interesting competition, and obviously Sebastian was very very angry at the end. Did you see the?
Of course, I saw
See the
him.
part where he put the.
And I wholeheartedly agree with him.
Yeah. So yeah, but for the rest, it was just a snooze fest. It was very Mercedes. Again, very Mercedes dominated, except for Vettel winning. But
Well, Vettel passing the finish line first, not winning, of course.
yeah, but you could still see they were faster.
They were.
But the definitely superior top speed of the Ferrari helped them a lot in qualifying, because you could see a huge difference. F1 puts out these really nice comparison videos where you can see where you can see the cars going like this, and basically through the whole sector 1 it was Mercedes, through the whole sector 2 it was Mercedes, and then you get sector 3 and it was Ferrari like this. And then then Hamilton gained a little bit of time through the last hairpin with the Wall of Champions again, and then after that the acceleration of the Ferrari is just like much faster. So that was very interesting to see. I think that's the interesting thing about this season. It's a little bit sad that that's the only thing that's really interesting about this season, is that the differences in philosophy between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. The Mercedes is a really aerodynamic heavy car. Has lots of drag, of course, because of that, and then the Ferrari has a lot of top speed. They know their engine is very very powerful, and they try to take full advantage of that. But then they lose on tracks like France, which is the next installment in this whole story, which was even worse. Like I said, obviously I enjoyed seeing Hamilton win, and he did it in a very very dominant fashion. I think Bottas was 6 seconds behind,
Wow.
6-7 seconds behind.
I really don't
The
like
whole
that
race.
track.
I mean, that's I don't know. It either says a lot about Bottas, or it says a lot about Hamilton. In any case, it was a huge difference. But the strange thing is the whole field was a little bit stretched out. So you had 5 seconds or 6 seconds to Bottas, then you had 5 to 6 seconds to Leclerc, then you had 5 to 6 seconds to, I think it was Verstappen, and then it was 5 to 6 seconds or maybe a little bit less to Vettel, I think. And yeah.
It could be. Yeah, like I really dislike that.
It is a fun circuit to drive though. If you do it in the simulator. No, if you do it in the simulator, I do from time to time. I have less and less time for this lately, but I do like sim racing. It's a very very technical track and very difficult to master, and it's fun to drive, but it's not very fun to look at.
Well, the reason why I'm saying that I don't like the track is because it's all asphalt.
Yes,
It's all asphalt.
we are of the old school, like
No,
the
but-
old of the old of the
And
old
I think
school.
I think that is where you can find the differences between the drivers and why they become bigger over the duration of the race. Because as you were able to see, there was a lot of literally cutting corners
Of course,
and going out of bounds of track limits,
Of
and
course.
certain drivers being penalized for it, and certain drivers being not penalized for it.
well, the difficult thing about the stewards of the meeting, or just in general, just regulating a Formula One race, is that it's human work, and
Of course, but the rules say
the
all
funny
tires need to stay within the track limit.
the funny thing is in sim racing it's very different, because it's just an algorithm. If all four wheels exit the track, it's different in every game. In the F1 game, you get an invalidated lap. If you do that a couple of times, you get a. If you do it 3 times, you get a 3-second time penalty, I think. In iRacing, they do it like this. They actually tell you to slow down. So you gain half a second. You need to drop back half a second and then go on again.
Yeah, but like during the race, and people were complaining about, like fans were already complaining about people exceeding the track limit, or drivers exceeding the track
the
limits
whole weekend.
the whole weekend. And if you're gonna allow cars to go outside the track limit with 4 wheels,
The thing is, the drivers are going to do it if it's possible. So they're going to.
that needs to be penalized.
I don't think it necessarily needs to be penalized. I think gravel traps and grass
Or
needs to
better.
come back, because if you do the same thing at Suzuka,
You're out of the race.
you're out of the race. I mean, if you do it anywhere on the track, actually, the only place I think where they have actually have asphalt these days is in the final sector, because those are really fast corners. The 130R.
Mm-hmm.
Probably that's a good thing, because if you're gonna put a gravel trap there and you know you're gonna go like this, then you're gonna roll, and it will be dangerous.
Yeah.
But for the rest of the track, especially through the S's in the start, no. If you go off there, you're in the grass, and I think a meter later, you're in the gravel trap.
You're in the
And
ground.
you're stuck. You're stuck. You're not gonna get out.
Yeah, but
and
That's the problem with these asphalt tracks. Like if you're
it does not have any consequences. And if human beings do not have consequences to something, they are going to find the first moment where they have a consequence.
Yeah.
If they have a consequence, they're gonna stop there, and just at the edge of it. Especially Formula One drivers.
I don't have a problem with going to the edge. There's no problem, and that's where I think on Paul Ricard a lot of difference comes from, because some drivers stick to the arbitrary limit that the lines give, and some drivers seem to completely overshoot those to get the best types of exits and get away with it.
Yes.
And that's why I extremely dislike those asphalt tracks.
Yeah.
Like that have runoff areas that go for a mile, so if you crash, you can shoot off for a mile.
Yep.
Or
No consequences.
not in
whatsoever.
freedom talk, kilometers.
Yeah, definitely. And so yeah, that also means that we're going to the next track, which is
The Red Bull Ring,
Red Bull Ring.
which the qualifying was just held for.
And I'm still used to calling it the
A1 ring.
A1 ring, as it used to be called, or Spielberg actually is the official name of the track. It's located in Spielberg, Austria.
The official name was A1, as far as I remember.
No, it's actually Spielberg. But
Let's check
anyway.
it out. You talk, I'll try and locate it.
Anyway, so going on about the track limits, basically what they did in Austria is they put these very high yellow curbs. So first you have the normal curb, which is pretty much flat. It's just a little bit of paint, so it's gonna be slippery when wet. But you know, doesn't really have any other consequences. Then after that, you have the, I think, a little bit bigger bumps, and this is on the green stuff. And then you, all the way on the outside, which I think is very fair, you have the yellow bumps, and they are really quite high. And they actually caused a lot of damage this weekend
Okay.
to the
Front wings mostly.
front wings.
So, to come back at the naming, it was first called the Oostenrijkring.
Oostenrijkring, yeah.
Then it was called the A1 ring, so I was right. And
And
since
the Red Bull ring.
2011, it's been called the Red Bull ring. Yeah.
It's a long time. The Oostenrijkring was very long.
Yeah, you can actually see it here. The
Well,
this-
you need to switch the
Yeah,
display.
I'm doing that. Relax. Relax.
Yeah, there we go.
And transition it. So this is the new ring, the current one.
Yeah.
And the old one was considerably.
It's a Mickey Mouse track, but again, this is also a very fun circuit
So
to
this
drive.
was for 2003, because I think he got a redesign again. I need to look that up, but this is apparently as it was used.
No,
between,
it's still the same.
no, it's. This is the layout that's been
Well,
used.
maybe a
between-
little bit then.
So let's see if we can find something
But it
else.
looks the same though.
It looks the same, but it's. Let's see what we can dig up. This was the proposed ring. Proposed. It's called what's called the Westschleife. Really,
You need to switch.
really, like this was called the Westschleife, the Westschleife extension. Like
Instead
really,
of the Nordschleife.
could they really not have?
These are German-speaking people.
All right. Well, I guess let's transition it back. What else can we find? Oh well, I don't know what's the current track layout. Is this? This is of course the current track layout. Yeah, it's a little bit different. A little bit.
A little
This
bit.
is the rebuild version. Let's
Yeah,
try.
yeah.
Let's show you guys that if you care to see. So this is the new track, the newest track layout. How it's been since 2000.
I think they made everything a little bit straighter.
Yeah, could be.
Here and there.
It's not much, but at least those new curbs make sure that mistakes result in at least a consequence.
Yes.
Which I like.
And you could really see, I think we saw in the qualifying, we saw the Haas of, was it Grosjean or Magnussen?
I don't know. Actually.
Either one, just completely destroyed front wing, which is gonna be, I think, is gonna be quite nice during the race. I mean, if some of this, some of this is going to happen. But what I do notice, I think I wanted to talk about this last time around. What I notice about Formula One is that it's been a very, very dry few years, as in weather.
Yeah, but that's a pretty controversial topic. I know you and I agree on that topic. But
I mean, we've been watching Formula One for, I don't know, the biggest part of our lives. I can remember a lot of rain races, a lot of races with bad weather, with overcast weather, with slight drizzle, especially, places like Silverstone and Spa and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the past few years, Spa has been bone dry, Silverstone has been bone dry. I don't know, it's just, it's just not... that also doesn't do current Formula One any good.
It doesn't.
Because rain races, I think Bernie Ecclestone once had this crazy idea and everybody laughed at him because of it. To make artificial rain.
To make artificial rain, yeah. To wet
Why not?
to
Why
wet the track.
why don't you just do that? I mean, it would create complete utter chaos. And it would be a little bit artificial, yes. But if you make it random enough so that it doesn't happen all the time, I don't know, I think it could be quite nice, because right now I think these cars, they have become so aerodynamically dependent that you just cannot follow another driver at all, even
No.
with the new front wings. So yeah, I don't know. So tomorrow is the race. Leclerc is on pole position. I really hope for Ferrari's sake that they actually do win do win this race, because it would be a good boost to them, because to be honest they had a pretty sorry season.
That's a sorry season. Yeah, a lot has gone wrong. A lot that's not entirely their fault. A lot that has been their fault.
Definitely, a lot has been their fault. But and it would be a very nice win for Leclerc, who I think really got really demotivated by his retirement in Bahrain, and then he had all these team orders, of course, which really didn't help his confidence
didn't
either.
help. Nope. Agreed.
So I do hope, because I do see a lot of potential in this guy, and he I really hope that he wins this, and then can turn that around and make a good ending to this season for his first season in Formula One, or for Ferrari actually in Formula One.
For Ferrari.
Yeah. But he's by all accounts he's pretty much still a rookie. He's driven 1 year.
Yeah, but it doesn't make you a rookie. I know Verstappen got hauled up for being a rookie for 3 years or something, even though he beat world champions.
He did, yeah.
But yeah, what can I say about that? Like, I'm not the biggest fan of him yet. Like, I'm a Ferrari fan, so I will always cheer for Ferrari, no matter who's behind the wheel. But
I can see him winning championships.
I'm not too convinced yet.
I mean, he's done some pretty amazing things last year in that Alpha, or at least it was Sauber last year.
It was Sauber.
It was still Sauber.
Sad to see that name disappear, though.
Yeah, because it's
an old name.
It's a very old name with a very big legacy. So, yeah,
still sad to see it, but unfortunately, yeah. Well, it's fun to see that Alfa Romeo is back for the first time since, what is it, 1995 or something? When was the last time Alfa actually officially had a team?
I think you're right, 1995 or something.
Alfa Romeo. Like how?
I don't know how, because it's Control F11, which shouldn't be.
I do that very often. You know that?
It's very special.
It happens to me really often.
Maybe you have a weird macro on your keyboard. He just opened the inspection dialog in Chrome.
It happens
actually in Firefox.
Yeah, Firefox. Yeah, it happens to me a lot. So let's see. Races entered 118.
The first one was the 1920s to the 1940s. This was pre-war.
Where do you see
It's in the table of contents.
Oh, so. Yeah, but that's still Alfa Corsa and Scuderia Ferrari.
Yeah.
So that's the official. This was when Enzo actually ran the Alfa Romeo team. So the first official Alfa Romeo would be 1950, and then it ended in
1951. Only for one season.
No, that's wrong. That's got to be wrong because Alfa.
Because
was there
then they
longer.
have Then they have go. Then they have Auto Delta, Marlboro.
Instead
and Benetton, Team Alfa Romeo, 1979 to 1985, it seems.
Yeah, that's.
In 1952, facing increased competition from their former employee Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, state-owned company, decided to withdraw after refusal of the Italian government to fund the expensive design of a new car to replace their 13-year-old workhorse. Surprisingly, Alfa Romeo involvement in racing was made with a very thin budget, using mostly pre-war technology and material during the 2 seasons. Interesting.
Okay, so they.
So since 1985, so not 1995, but 10 years earlier than that.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that was an interesting tidbit.
Yeah, has a lot of history.
Okay, well, they're back now.
Oh, and actually, what I just saw is that the Brabham car. If I don't know if you watch Formula One, you know this, or at least if you're.
Oh, the fan car.
Yeah, the fan car. So
it's powered by an Alfa Romeo engine.
Yes.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
Just to be honest, maybe interesting.
Well, it was a very special car that used a turbo, used a fan to create a ground effect that sucked it effectively into the ground. But they banned it after one race.
Because the cornering speeds were too high for that car.
It's too high. Yeah.
Actually, the last time Alfa Romeo delivered an engine for an F1 was in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Was the V10, the naturally aspirated V10. That's the last time.
That's a very good sound. That's a very good sound.
For Brabham, actually, it was developed as well. So, okay, well, a tidbit, I guess.
Yep.
Uh,
But going back to Charles, he did some pretty amazing things in that Alfa Romeo last year. So I do think he will live to see himself become a champion in due time.
I hope so, because Ferrari could do with a new.
To be honest, though, it could all change if and when Ferrari does or doesn't decide to leave 2021 with the proposed budget cap. This has been. I think they've been talking about this since, probably since we've started watching.
No, the budget cap I think became a really hot topic around the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah, around 2004.
Especially with the known budget of Toyota at the time, which exceeded 400 million.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a team in the early to mid 2000s that was pushing in close to $500 million a year into its team.
And that's pretty much what Mercedes spends
now. We're talking about
2019.
Yeah, almost
with inflation.
Yeah, with inflation and 1.5 decades later.
Yeah.
So that's just staggering to think that Toyota was putting that much money into that team.
Yep.
Already, and they were competitive, but they never won a championship with it.
No.
And actually, it could be. Let me check that. They could. I don't think they actually ever won a race with it, did they? Or maybe 3 or something. It was a really low number, at least. Let me check that. Formula One team. They had 13 podiums. They entered 140 races. And 0 finishes. Race victories. Sorry, finishes. That would be really stupid. But no, 0 race finishes. I said it again. 0 race victories. They were second 5 times, and that's it. Fastest lap 3 times, pole positions 3 times. Final entry for the Formula One Toyota team was 2009 Abu Dhabi. The first one, by the way, the 2002 Australian Grand Prix. That's a lot of money to never win a race. I really like Toyota, by the way.
Yeah, it's a nice.
That was a really nice team.
Yeah, they. I'm a really big fan of how they operate their company. There's this book. If you're interested in reading books, you should probably read this. The Toyota Way. It's a really good book about a very unique way of managing a company.
The management philosophy. Yeah, it's the Kaiban.
Well, not only Kaiban, but basically is that they view every employee right down to the cleaner, maybe.
With respect.
With the same respect, everybody can criticize everybody, even if that person is higher than higher in rank. The board of directors have their meetings in the company of all the employees, so nothing is behind closed doors, and they really operate on a basis of basically supply and demand between departments, so they are as efficient as they can be, which is it's a really, really interesting read if you do happen to run a business, if you do or maybe you're in upper management or whatever. It's a really interesting really interesting read. I think there's also a couple of audiobooks from the same book. It's yeah, very, very good. So, what next? What next? You need to go. You need to go back to the lists because I forgot about the list.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't know what else. Oh, we're gonna talk about this insane weather in Europe.
If you can,
like, if you can't notice, we're like really a little bit sweaty because the heat is actually. Northwestern Europe, where we are, is really warm, and it really rarely, or used to rarely exceed 30 degrees, and now it regularly in summer seems to exceed 30 degrees.
Well, it seems to go straight after the summer of last year. It's just very, very warm, very, very warm. I don't know. It's abnormal.
Yeah, it is.
It's abnormal for this part of Europe to be this warm. I do like it though.
You were just complaining, so how can you like it though?
No, you have to get used to it a little bit. But we have to live with a lot less less warm temperatures the whole year for maybe 9, 10, maybe even 11 months. It doesn't get over 23 degrees. So for them to just suddenly have it go this high is. If it would stay like this for a week, you wouldn't even notice it anymore.
You would hope.
No, you don't notice it anymore. You've been to Spain. You've been to warm
That's
countries.
a dry heat.
It's a dry heat, but even
a dry heat is way easier to deal with.
Yeah, true.
Well, I just wish I could enjoy it a little bit more, but I just can't because of my tailbone and my knee.
Yeah. Well, I did go to the beach this week.
How was the beach?
It was nice. I went to Rocagne, which is you don't know where that is?
I know where it is, but why would you go there?
I go there because if you go to Hoek of Holland, you get all the school children and you get all the people I just don't want to see.
Yeah, now you go to Rocagne and you get teens. Great.
No,
Great choice.
no, not really. It was really there was just a lot of people with kids, basically. But it wasn't, and it's usually a lot more quiet than Hoek of Holland, and it was nice. It was the water was really cold, but it was really nice. So you really had to, you had to jump in and just go for it, but it really cooled you down a lot. So I really enjoyed going to the beach.
I don't think
But the beers, you know what they ask for a beer? I took some beer with me, but I didn't have a cooling bag.
I warned you.
I need to buy a cooling bag. But anyway, so I already drank 4 beers. I wanted the 5th one, and I went into the beach restaurant. $4.50 for a Desperados.
That's not that expensive, to be honest.
You know what you pay for a Desperado in the
in the store, yeah, but
in the city, probably $3.20.
No, you're wrong.
$3.50.
More, four and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. That's actually not that much expensive.
I thought it was expensive, but I'm used to grocery store.
Yeah, that's grocery store, but that's a pretty normal price for. That's the same for Corona. You would pay about the exact same.
Yeah.
If you would go to Scheveningen or something like that, then you would pay a little bit more. You would probably be looking at 5 to 6.
Yeah.
For it. So it's actually a horrible price. I still find it's too expensive, but I'm actually not surprised by the number you just named. Well, my motorcycle. I haven't started on my motorcycle yet. I got all the parts in though.
Yeah, you got all the parts and you have a new cover.
I got a new cover for it. Yeah, because it's complete. It's almost completely dismantled.
What was this?
That's not a motorcycle part. That's for the cameras.
For the cameras. Oh, you don't have the motorcycle parts yet.
I don't have any motorcycle. I think I got a couple over there.
What there?
Yeah, on the stairs. A couple that came in, like the stairs to the attic. I don't know what the. That's not. Those are snowboard parts. Like really?
No, but there's nothing else on the stairs.
There's absolutely nothing else on there. Oh, then maybe.
It's probably being cleaned up.
I'll probably put it away. But
Yeah.
no, I got the new rear shocks. I got the front, the rear shock spring. I got the new springs for the front end. I got new chains and sprockets for the engine to the rear wheel. I have all the nuts and bolts. I got 200 euros worth of bolts, and that's only half.
200 euros.
Yeah, that's only half the bike, because the rest I was like, no, not gonna pay that.
200 euros about
200
bolts.
plus, yeah. I'm angry about that, to be honest. That bolts can be that expensive.
I'm very glad I didn't have to spend that money, but I'm just 200 euros worth of bolts.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna be saying this for the rest of the week. 200 euros worth of bolts.
No, I've been saying that every time. I haven't actually opened the envelope. I know they're in there.
I would have opened if I would have paid that amount of money for bolts. I'm gonna make damn sure all the bolts are in there.
That's actually a really good one. I might have to check that.
Oh hell yes! Every single one of them.
Yeah,
Even if
no,
one of them
actually-
is missing, I'm
You're actually right. I actually need to check that. Because there are some really expensive titanium bolts in there. For
if it's 10 euros, I don't really care if one is missing. If it's maybe 80 euros, yeah, I start caring.
Actually, you're right. I actually need to check that, because there are a couple of titanium caliper. No, not from brake caliper. Brake disc bolts. For the titanium, I
Well,
think
I guess it
they're
would be nice if you
€30
actually-
per 5.
What?
That's what I said.
I guess it's for your own safety, but
Yeah, the prices are
crazy.
crazy. Yeah, it's not even funny. But I got all the parts. Was a little bit of a problem a couple of times, because I had originally ordered the springs with HyperPro. This is not sponsored.
No.
But with HyperPro, which is a Dutch
The
spring brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I showed you the progressive
The
shocks.
purple spring.
Yeah.
But
No, I actually ordered them, no problem. But I found it really weird with them, because I had ordered with them, and a day later I actually found them cheaper with one of the resellers. So I emailed them and requested either a refund of the difference, or to cancel it so I could order it with them. And by law, they need to do it, because I have the right to cancel any order. But I honestly expected them to rebate me on the difference. They didn't. They just canceled the entire order. So I had to reorder it with another company. Not that I mind, but I wonder what the reasoning behind it was.
they
Because-
probably didn't want to sell it for less.
Yeah, but they would have made more money on it, and now they made technically less on it.
Some of these companies are just
Because-
they are devoid of any
So-
sort of logic
Yeah,
whatsoever.
because now I bought it at another company, a reseller, and they pay the wholesale price. And then they have a discount on it, so they make less money on it. But now the HyperPro is having to sell them a new shock to the reseller
Yeah,
to put back on stock,
yeah.
which will only make them now. Let's
or
say
maybe,
they,
or
let's
maybe
say,
maybe they already have it in stock.
yeah, but the difference is the HyperPro could have made more money off of it if they would have. So I honestly expect we'll give you a rebate, but they didn't. So it took a little while longer before I got the parts in. And actually, because when I had ordered them with the other company, I had put in some a new chain, a new sprockets, and everything, and it took ages for them to get it sorted.
Yep.
But then again, if you want something cheaper and keep a little bit more money in your pocket, you just have to deal with the fact that it might take a couple of days longer. But the other fun, fun. It wasn't really fun. It really annoyed me, and I was really worried for a while. Was that a couple of their ordering system was really weird and janky. Like when I had to do the payment for a chain breaker. It's a little device where you can break a chain and re-rivet a chain.
Chainbreaker makes me think of Game of Thrones.
Shall we not talk about Game of Thrones?
No, let's not do that. Although I do want to mention is that I find it very, very funny that David Benioff and DB Weiss actually have the guts to show up at Comic Con in San Diego. They I don't know. I think they're gonna get lynched or something.
They might. So I had actually put a chain breaker with the original order. I had the availability to do that, so it actually gave me a check mark when I put that in another order that's still in. I wouldn't know how to call that actually. That was still in waiting. So I did. I tried, but the payment canceled like twice.
Mm-hmm.
So all of a sudden I had to, and the message said try again. So I tried a couple of times, and every time in the ordering system for that company, a new order would appear.
Mm.
And it kept saying waiting for payment for all of those. So I was like, oh, this is going to go wrong.
Yep.
It actually didn't, and I kept mailing them, and they kept saying, no, it's going to be fine. And it was in the end. I got everything on the same day.
And you only paid once?
And I only paid once.
That's special.
And the fun part was, the last time I actually mailed them, I noticed that I got a list with everything that was sent, but it was missing the chain breaker. So I was like, oh, here we go. I'd warned them this would happen, and the chain breaker's not there, and I need the chain breaker for the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I can work on my motorcycle right now because my butt and my knee, because I cannot go to my motorcycle and work on it. But I milled them, and no, it's in there. It's really gonna be in there. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll rage after I get the package and it's not in there, because they said it would be in there, and they said their system, they're overhauling their system, they're working on it, but it doesn't have the ability just yet. And believe it or not, I opened it and single thing was in there.
That's pretty special.
So I was really surprised it actually went well. The annoying part is waiting for that exact package is also the reason that I damaged my knee and tailbone, because that day is the day that I fell down the stairs.
Probably you were hoping too much that everything in the order went okay.
And I hurried to. I rushed to the door too fast, and that's probably what made me slip. Most likely. So it hurts. Yeah. But I got all the parts, and I hope to start in the next couple of, let's say 2 weeks. That's what I'm hoping for. I think my tailbone will be fine, even though I'm really uncomfortable right now. But it's the knee that's really bothering me with bending. I can't bend the knee.
That's a good thing. We're not kneelers.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. I can't.
No, I know.
Straight up work on a motorcycle. This doesn't work.
But we do not kneel.
We do not kneel. Bobby B. Yeah. Bobby B. But talking about the weather, because what my plan was to do more surfing this year. So I've not done that because my knee again, because the weather got good, and guess what?
You cannot do anything.
I cannot do anything. We did go earlier this week. We got my girlfriend a new wetsuit. So we actually have a new wetsuit for her.
You need a wetsuit in this weather?
No, but like with the stand-up paddleboarding, which we're gonna do reviews over. By the way, I still have 2 reviews pending for paddleboards. I know video should be appearing a little bit faster, but again, please bear with me, bear with us for me falling downstairs. So I still have reviews waiting for 2 paddleboards, but my girlfriend really doesn't like cold. And we want to do a review at Flatwater and on sea.
On sea, I guess if you go out a little bit further, it's
so
pretty cold. I had the same thing at the beach. is it was already pretty cold, and I went deeper and deeper and deeper, and especially the undercurrent is icy.
Yeah, so for that we decided that at least she needs a wetsuit because she is cold way faster than I am, so she just needs it way more than I do, and it will allow us to extend the paddleboard season by a couple months.
Yep.
So I'm gonna get one as well, a new one because I need a new one. I had one, but it's. Ugh. So I need a new one, but I'll get one after the summer when the prices come down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
So I guess we ran through all our topics for today for this one, or do you have anything else?
I don't know.
Well, on the tech front, there is some interesting news, but
is?
we're not the biggest on tech because you can probably watch it better at Linus, anyways.
Probably yes.
But the AMD,
Yeah,
stuff?
the 16 core
32 thread, 3950X.
overclocked to 5 gigahertz. It broke its own record.
Apparently there is something that Intel is even impressed. Let me see where I saw that.
I read something along those lines.
Oh yeah, here 3 days ago on Tech Power Up. That's the first thing we were able to find is internal Intel memo.
Yeah, an internal employee-only portal called Circuit News. The post titled AMD Competitive Profile, where we go toe-to-toe, why they are resurgent, which chips of ours beat theirs, goes into detail about the recent history of AMD and how the company achieved its tremendous growth in recent years. Further, Intel talks about where they see the biggest challenges with AMD's new products and what the company's secret sauce is to fight against these improvements. Because yes, they do have to step up their game. I think for a long time they had their seat as the kings of processors, but AMD has been chipping away at them, and lately, I don't know, they just brought a huge axe or something. They just cut down the whole tree. But they probably attracted the right talent, and it was a multi-year project.
It was
just gradually increasing, and then just I think with the Zen architecture they really put it over the top.
I'm hoping, but again, this is important to hold. There are still no independent reviews yet for these processors.
No.
But once it arrives, I'm pretty sure that we can get a really nice upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, I want to announce something, and I don't think I've told you this before, but it's something I really want to do. And that is actually I want to do a running series of videos. Maybe something around the Grand Tour.
Yes. Yeah.
Thing. Where we just visit, talk about cities, and just drive around, but not do it like the Grand Tour does it.
Mm-hmm.
But do a Grand Tour with a somewhat cheaper car and for more normal people to visit.
Yep. Yeah.
That's something I really want to do with this channel, so I'm looking into doing that. While we do sports, lifestyle reviews, and...
Well, it would certainly make for a better scenery behind us.
It would. So I really want to do it, and the first thing I want to do is sort of a small Grand Tour through the Netherlands this summer.
I do see with the new mic we have this, so this might help.
This is a pop filter. We don't have to use it because we're not...
When we're outside.
Oh yeah, but we're not going to be bringing that mic.
Why not?
Because that doesn't work outside.
No, it doesn't?
It's
I don't have any...
No, we'll need a new Rode mic for that.
You cannot put a...
No. No, I cannot literally I cannot physically fit that mic to a camera.
Okay.
And we'll probably be using one of these for the
trip,
for most of the trip.
For most of it, yeah, because it's stabilized as well.
So that would be a little bit easier. So I think if we're a bit lucky, we can do a small Grand Tour in August. So I'm hoping to do that.
Okay.
You would.
I'm up for it. Yeah.
Show you the good spots in the Netherlands for instance, where to go, where to be, what's beautiful, what's not. So a little bit of a tour. We will be doing it in a Toyota Prius, so deal with that. So no fancy ass cars, no reasonable cars
it's
for reasonable people.
And
who wanna enjoy life.
environmentally friendly.
And what I'm gonna do is I want to do the same sort of thing, but that's probably without you, on the stand-up paddleboards.
Yeah.
The greatest paddleboard locations in the Netherlands, and then in Germany, Denmark, and then take a country each year, maybe. So that's what I'm currently working on, and hopefully once my body is healed, I can start doing the product reviews of all the products I have lying around that I have not done a review about. Yep. Also, none of it sponsored, all paid for by myself. So,
yeah.
Thanks for watching, and
yeah, it's we filled exactly 56 minutes, so really good.
And if you guys have an idea for a name, please leave it in the comments.
Yeah, and let's do like Linus, like, subscribe, and if you don't like it, yeah. So we'll see you next episode.
See you next time.
Bye. Over there, end stream.